Bum 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 bum.
Sometimes I wonder how long I should just let you go without saying anything.
I want to know.
Is that a TV show?
Yeah, can you guess it?
I know what I
Is it the Recess theme song?
Yes, it is Recess.
Wow.
Or Ruckus, as they call it in one episode.
What?
When they get rid of Recess, and then they get the superintendent, I believe it is, comes in. He's like, I have this great idea. We'll let the kids go outside and we'll let them play for 15 minutes and then later on again for lunch and we'll call it Ruckus. And it was just Recess.
I thought it was 18.
I feel like as adults, we should also have recess.
You know
After
what?
we wrap up the podcast, we go outside and play for 15 minutes.
Yeah, just like throw a football around, just the group of
I
us.
used to do that every
We
once in
did
a while.
creative catch at one point. There's a field right behind Little Brick, and sometimes on Friday afternoons we would go out and throw a ball. It was nice.
I think we should bring that back this summer.
Why not? There's a
Or
field
even
right
now. Like, why don't we just start bringing our skates in? Just go for a quick twirl.
there. Well, we're getting a little soupy now,
Yeah, that's fair. It is getting warm.
but we can throw a ball around. I've still got a ball. Actually, well, not in this car, in my other car.
Is
Ball
it
and
a ball
glove?
for Frank?
Ball and glove. No, baseball, baby.
All right.
Let's check one.
Nice.
Over
I got
the
to
river?
practice anyway. I got to throw it over the river.
Over the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the river?
Yeah, I feel like I've mapped out the most narrow portion of the North Saskatchewan River,
Yeah.
and I feel like I could throw a baseball over that.
We're trying it this year.
We've
From
had
like-
this debate for
but like
6
This has been going on for a long time
A
now.
running start or a stand-in throw?
You can do a running
You can
start.
take as much of a
Crow
start
hop.
as you
Little
want.
crow
Liam.
hop, yeah.
Okay.
You ain't making it.
I think you could do it.
I feel
No
like I could
one's
do
doing
it.
it.
Not like there's parts where sometimes I've driven over the Walterdale Bridge and I go, there's no fucking way I could throw a baseball
No, there's
over
definitely
this.
not. But if you
But
go
like-
down by the dog park over on down by Riverbend,
That's what I'm talking about.
I think it's doable.
I think it's doable too.
Don't
Anyway,
think so.
Oilers Nation Radio episode. What are we, Tyler?
I don't know.
Ah,
6.
bamboozled ya.
6 million.
it could be episode 6.
You got
Oilers
me on
Nation
this
Radio
one.
episode 6. Nation Dan here. Rick, Tyler, Liam, Bagman.
267.
Gang's all
I
here.
think.
Lots to talk about.
266.
Eric Karlsson still not an Edmonton Oiler.
Let's just, you know what? Let's just wait till he is.
We will not talk until Erik Karlsson is here.
Just on the pod, just in general.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Okay,
Hour
so-
of blank hockey talk.
Everybody, that's it. No more talk until he's here.
I thought you were going to hit the
You're going to go a
crickets one.
long time without talking.
Could be years.
Can you imagine if we did that? No new episodes till Carlson's an Oiler and he just never comes.
Got to stick to the bit.
Shit.
Unless
How-
you get
debate.
Erik Karlsson to come on as a guest. That's
How
the cap.
committed to the bit do you want to be? That is the question here. Tyler, we got to kick off the episode with a delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle. It is Friday. They do delivery. They've got a nice little promo code via Uber Eats as well. If you're looking for a little discount on some Oodle Noodle this weekend, get on in there. Get yourself something to eat. If you're in Calgary, congratulations on finally being fed something other than cow shit.
Jesus.
Is that not true?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I couldn't prove it wrong.
They're
So
like
Google
Eagles,
it and find it wrong. That
they're like
I'm wrong.
Eagles fans down there.
Tyler, what
Delicious
is the
debate?
delicious debate today for our friends at Oodle Noodle?
we are now basically 2 weeks away from the NHL trade deadline. So I ask you.
Literally, even.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, it's
literally.
15 days, I think, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it 2 Fridays from now?
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
you know it is.
Friday.
Yeah,
It is
you're
straight
right.
up
2 weeks. Straight up 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks away.
16 days, like 2 days ago.
It's going to slide 2 weeks now because it'd be over 42 minutes ago.
Over under 2.5 trades for the Edmonton Oilers.
Over under 2.5 trades for the Edmonton Oilers. Personally, I thought we were going to get at least one by now. Apparently, yes, Pulley What was Jim's tweet? Like a cat has 9 lives, so too does the Bison King or some shit like
Yeah.
that. It was very funny. Made me laugh out loud.
Good job, Jim.
It literally made me laugh out loud. So, to answer the question, over 2.5 trades. Liam, you were to my right. What say you?
2.5 trades for the Edmonton Oilers. Mm-hmm. Chickering, Kane, Karlsson. 3.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I will say under because they quite can they afford to make 3 trades? Do they have
Yes.
the assets to make 3 trades?
Well, if you're talking those players, there's a lot of players going out at that point. So yes.
Yeah, that's true. We just have nothing left but those 3 players. And McDavid.
Over under.
And Ryan O'Reilly, too. You
Under.
forgot him.
Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly. My bad.
Jonathan
Yep.
Taves?
So you're going under. What are you expecting then?
Well, actually, we were Jonathan Taves. We were talking about him yesterday. And what did you find out? He's fat now?
Well, I think that might be a rude way to put it. But Frank heard a report that he's weighing in at like 240 pounds right now. Where that's the rumor.
So he's bulking up for a playoff run.
Yeah.
He's like
He's
a
just
bear
carbo
going
loading.
into hibernation.
All right. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Tyler, 2.5 trades.
Oh, I want to know like your 2 deals. What
No,
are you
we'll talk
kinda
about that
expecting?
after.
Okay,
Round the
fine.
horn fast.
Go fuck myself.
Yep.
I'm going over.
Over 2.5.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm
curious
not allowed
to
to
see
explain
what's.
it.
No, we're gonna get to you. I'm curious to go what's on in that little brain of yours afterwards. Rick,
I think I'm
2.5.
sticking at 2, so under.
Oh, life's too short to bet the under. Dan,
I'm going to say push because there's going to be a
there's
trade.
gonna be 2.5
that
trades.
has
Is
a
it a half
player
trade?
that has a player going one way and a draft pick coming back the other way. So
That's
it's only
still a
half.
trade.
That's still a trade.
I call it a half a trade. 2.5 push.
I'm going to say
I forgot.
2.5's an interesting number. I'm gonna say over. Give me 3 trades. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, now let's get into the business you want to talk about, Tyler.
Thank you.
Liam.
The bee's knees. I think the Oilers will make one big trade and then one little guy will come in after 2.
So Erik Karlsson and Sam Lafferty.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Tyler, what do you got?
They'll add a forward, they'll add a D-man, and they'll do a cap
Holy.
dump. So those are my 3 deals. One of them will be a big one where they make a splash, whether it's
Like Erik Karlsson?
like Patrick Kane. And then if it's a splash up front, then they'll go small on the blue line and they'll need a cap dump anyways. So yeah, I'm going to say a cap dump, a forward, and a defenseman, with one of them being a big splash.
Like Erik Karlsson.
No Erik Karlsson.
I've got no time for your negativity.
None.
Nope.
It's 2 trades. It's one for Ryan O'Reilly and it's one for like a Kulak type of player.
You know what? Actually, if we get Ryan O'Reilly, I'd be super pumped.
Dude, like
I would.
Ryan O'Reilly helps you win that game against Detroit. Erik Karlsson doesn't.
Wow.
Ryan O'Reilly takes a lot of fucking defensive minutes off of Leon Draisaitl, allows him to play a lot more offensive.
You know who we don't have to worry
Karlsson
about
doesn't.
seeing in the playoffs though? It's the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, maybe.
Okay,
They're
but I
close.
just meant one. I'm not worried about them per se. I'm just that face-off he lost. Ryan O'Reilly's out there. He's winning it. There's
Yes.
times when Leon's a little more meh in his own zone, which I get it, but Ryan O'Reilly won't be.
I said push, but I would say over just because Ken Holland has some moves to make and he has to make some kind of action work here. So I don't think that Erik Karlsson is the move, but I wouldn't be upset about it either. I just think that you're gonna have a Karlsson move or a bigger move, and then you're gonna have some smaller moves to kind of fix whatever we've adjusted with that big move.
I went with the over, so here's my thinking. I think Sam Lafferty is going to be an Oiler. I think that, yes, Puljujärvi will be gone, even though Yamamoto just makes me nervous. He's been hurt half the year. And then my third trade will be just some kind of minor defenseman deal. Like a 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's probably like a super realistic bet.
But I don't like it.
No, I don't like that either. I do, again, still think Ken Holland has to really push for one big move, whoever that may be. And maybe it's even a situation if you go all out for Patrick Kane, I'd love it. But I still think that can't be your only move. You have to get better defensively somehow. So it's got to be a Patrick Kane deal, then a Noel Acciari deal, and you go out and get a low end D-man too, or a third pairing D-man. I know a lot of people are going to be oh, you don't need a third pairing D-man. That doesn't help you win. But come on. You need depth. You need at least 8 D-men to get through a playoff run. The Oilers, I don't think, have that right now.
No, and a
gotta go get it.
Karlsson deal moves a D-man out.
Well, that's the part that makes me the most nervous about a potential Karlsson deal. Or not the most nervous, the most skeptical about it happening is everyone loves drumming up this whole, all right, we'll clear out $7.5 million by trading Barrie and Puljujärvi. Okay, that clears out exactly $7.5 million. You then have to replace a spot on your roster, which is
With Erik Karlsson.
well,
He's playing both Barry's spot and Yes's spot.
So you need
He
to
could.
replace that.
Rover.
And you don't have enough money for that. And then, okay, well, you got to create money. So now you're trading away Fogle as well, but you got to replace his spot. I don't know. I just feel like the calculations and the mock trades
What
are
a
just nowhere
difficult
close.
one.
What do you think it costs for Ryan O'Reilly?
I bet you it'll take a first and a prospect. It'll be Claude
here,
Giroux-esque.
I want Ryan O'Reilly at 50% retained.
Okay.
And I'm willing to give you this year's first, the following year's second or third, and Fogle.
Yeah, the money doesn't quite work, but you could get a third-party broker in there.
If you can get his price down, because after that you can go and you can waive a Jan Mark or a Derek Ryan at that point, right?
Or you just get like a second team to retain on O'Reilly because he's a $7.5 million cap hit. His base salary this year is only $1 million. It'll cost you like a 6th round pick to get a third team involved on O'Reilly. So yeah, you could get him down to 2.5 and flip Fogle.
So
up.
That's what I'm
I just
doing.
have a question about how many teams are there that we think are like the third party brokers right now. I'm sorry to put
and
that on
how many
you.
cities have how many Tim Hortons in
Sorry,
it if they're
yes.
fishing for Ryan O'Reilly?
I know I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
You can't. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna address Dan's thing. I think any team that's a seller: Chicago, Columbus, Anaheim, San Jose, Vancouver, Arizona, Montreal. I think all 6-7 of those would probably do it. Philly, St. Louis, maybe even. Like
those teams, those aren't probably teams that are going to come into a Karlsson conversation, though.
But no team can retain on Carl. Like no team's
Yeah.
gonna be like, yeah, we'll take 4 more years of that dead money. That's insane.
You don't think teams would if you were like, hey, can you keep $1 million?
they would say,
4
give
more
us a
years.
1st round pick.
I don't know.
Because it's $4 million.
What is sorry? I've been trying to think about this. What did the Oilers?
No
give
one's
up?
just gonna do you a favor.
No, I know you obviously have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But like when teams dump money, like what is the value usually?
Like, what was it? The Leafs had to give up first to get rid of Patrick Marleau.
For 1 year of Marleau.
1 year,
Well,
but that was a full $6 million cap.
Yeah.
That was a
You're
a
asking a
big
team
cap.
to do $1 million for 4 years.
But it's also going to take up one of their
1.5,
one of their spots too. One of their 3 spots you can use on this. So that's big to tie that up. Like if Arizona was willing to do it, well, they already have OEL on the books for the next 3 years. So you're going to ask them to do this, and they'll have one more retained money spot.
So what was the? I'm trying to think. Like Datsuk would have been one. So what was Datsuk traded to Arizona for?
But that's LTIR, so it's not.
I know,
really
but he's still paying. It's similar. I mean, in the sense of like they have to pay this guy.
contract's insured, so it's not really like the same thing.
But essentially, you're paying somebody to take them. Like they're still paying, and that's my point. Is there isn't like obviously a deal out there that's been like, oh, we're gonna take this much money because he has 4 years left. But I think the only equivalent to this would be someone dumping some LTIR on it because the owner still has to pay that guy. That's kind of the point I'm getting to.
But on LTIR, a lot of the times, like I said, it's covered in insurance and whatnot. And like it'll cost you a 1st round pick. If someone was going to keep $1 million for 4 more years at Karlsson, it'll be a 1st.
Interesting. I don't know what it would cost. There is no right answer until it happens.
That's exactly it. And
That's expensive.
And I think that's the case for most of these transactions overall, but you're right. I think that's like, I keep hearing people say like, we'll just get a third party broker. I would love to see which those ones are going to be. And Tyler, you're right. Like to me that there's such a value in having those 3 spots available to you to be able to retain contracts of your own that you've screwed up on and that kind of thing.
A lot of these teams that are rebuilding are all, for the most part, with the exception of like maybe just San Jose, they're all kind of like, hey, in 2-3 years, we're going to be better. We want that money. You're not just going to like flush $1 million or $2 million for a 2nd round pick.
What do you think about this, though, Tyler? We're talking about Ryan O'Reilly for a second over at dailyfaceoff.com. Frank Saravalli had a comparable trade to Giroux to Florida from last year.
Yeah.
So would you pay a 1st, a 3rd, and a prospect to get that done?
I think the comparison, because it was Owen Tippett.
Right.
I think that's actually a decent Puljujarvi comparable. So would you give up a 1st and a 3rd and Puljujarvi for Ryan O'Reilly? I think I would.
Can you try and get Fogle in there instead? Oh, I only say that just because we're so thin down the right side where you have so many left-hand shots. If you move out Puljujarvi in this deal and then Yam gets hurt, you've got 2 spots there on the right wing that's nobody's number 1 position.
Owen Tippett did spend time in the American League that season too.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. So Owen Tippett is 24. Is that how old? Yes, he is too.
Yeah.
About that, yeah.
Something like that.
Interesting.
So that is a comparable from Frank over there. If you're listening to this, yes, is 24, turns 25 in May.
See, and that's where I'm trying to move the Fogle, the left-handed shot over the right-handed shot to me.
That one's going to be a
Fogel's
tougher one, though, because Fogel's got another year left.
And I think
Yeah,
he's got.
I don't think
I think teams would view him as having less upside. With Puljujarvi, I think you're still, if you're the acquiring team, you're kind of holding on to like that. Hey, he could score 25 for us 1 year. I think with Fogle, you're just kind of like, serviceable 3rd liner.
I don't know. I think if you're thinking that he may score 25 for us 1 year, I think that's. Why can't we think that same?
No, I think the acquiring team that's part of the intrigue with taking a stab on a Puljujarvi versus a Fogle.
Box.
There's a bit of a mystery box element there. Like he could be terrible for you, and you'll not re-sign him, or he could fit in really well and score
Or
25
mystery
goals.
Well,
box.
Fogle drives a half ton, right? So
Yeah.
he's really good on the team too.
And he looks good with glasses on.
He does. He's very handsome.
So you never know how GMs could maybe value that.
Is kind of how the Oilers valued him, no, when they acquired him, being like, oh, well, this wasn't he like the playoff guy or something like that? I can't remember
And someone,
what it
I
was.
forget who it was, but they were like, oh, you got Zach Hyman this summer and the next Zach Hyman. And I remember being like, oh, that's fucking awesome. He's going to look so good next to McDavid. And it just didn't work. But that's okay.
Well, there you have it, folks.
I still think you try and move a left-handed shot. That's
You know a topic's out of legs when Liam says, there you have it.
I think my
he's tired. Just crush another Alfredo. The dude's had a lot of carbs in his system.
Looking up for my playoff run.
He's leaning back in the chair already. The hat's down lower. He's looking for a little shade.
Pulling a Jonathan Taves, I see.
Yeah.
You love an Alfredo in the middle of the day.
Who doesn't?
Me. Puts me to sleep.
It's a
Jonathan
good- it's a
Taves
good meal.
is still interesting to me, though. He's having a bad year. This illness thing is worrisome.
The Alfredo thing is worrisome.
Yeah, for Liam, yes.
Yeah.
It's great Alfredo.
But all of a sudden, he might only cost you like a couple of like mid to late round picks to get.
But he's still a price tag.
Yeah, but just get him kept twice and move out Fogle in the deal.
Just get him.
Yeah, just kept twice.
I think Chicago might be out of being a third-party team for the idea of if they trade both Taves and Kane. I know it's only one season or the rest of the season. That's still $10 million, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Like maybe they're just a team that won't be a third-party team. for
But it's
somebody
not
else.
like the thing, and Frank taught me this lesson earlier this week, which is the reason I've been talking about it, is you can't look at it as they're keeping $5 million because they're not. The salary for these guys, because the signing bonuses are paid, the salary is $2.9 million for each of them. We are 60% through the season, so there's only 40% left on that contract.
But only a
Can you do the math on that?
40% of 2.9 is
Yep. Hang on. Go for it.
okay. So half of it would be 1.45.
Yeah, like, got the
So
shift there.
like
Carry the
probably
one.
like 1.2 or close to it.
Yeah, carry the one.
Yeah.
That was over there.
So the Hawk, there's only 1.2 million left on this contract. So it's really only if they're retaining half,
But there's only-
$600,000.
There's only so many teams that aren't on LTIR that can do it that way.
What is the base salary for Karlsson? Is it 11.5?
I think I can check.
Let's check. Let's see what the Bucks
Okay,
say.
but
Just
no,
for
it's
funsies.
like
If we're on the topic.
the teams who are retaining money. It has nothing to do with cap hit. Like in terms of what the Oilers are getting in, it does. But like when you're retaining, it's not like the Hawks are going to have to dish out $5 million
They're
to
retaining.
these guys.
Okay, I see what you
They're
mean.
only retaining like $400,000 in like checks signed
It's like
out the door.
Keith last season, where he was only making $1 million or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And
So
everyone's like,
dunking.
Tyler, Erik Karlsson only makes $2 million this year.
does he really?
Yep.
In base salary?
Yep.
What are we doing here?
I mean, it jumps back up to 10.5
Yeah.
next year, but like,
and 10,
Yeah, you know.
and 10 the year after.
well,
But
but,
he's
like
great.
right now.
He's the best defenseman in the league.
But we're talking about retaining money.
He's having a
The
great
Coyotes
year
don't give
right
a fuck
now.
if he's
That's
good.
not possible for us.
What
We'll
did you
use
say?
he's having a great year right now,
Yep.
1,000%. 7 months ago, you were not making this trade at
a
all.
lot
You
of
weren't even
fun
looking at the
police here.
player.
We've got a lot of
7
fun
months
police
ago,
in this
He
room.
was on the.
And
who's
how
he
many?
playing
How
with,
many?
Dan?
That's just 1 sec. I'll bring up the tweet.
Dan, we spoke about this before. I'm pointing my finger in the air, people. I
He
got a
means
point
business.
to make, but Dan has to make it. I can't remember what he said. But he was like, I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but it was like, he played most of his games with a guy that had played like a handful of games in the American League last season, and then also Jacob Middleton. So when he was playing with Middleton, he was good, but then Middleton got traded almost to the Oilers, apparently, according to the jersey that was made. And then the other guy he played with was brutal, right?
Knees off.
Who?
Knees off?
Skis off.
Yeah, that guy.
Never heard of him.
KNYZHOV
Knees
was his main partner in 2020, 2021.
And he made Carlson play like he had his knees off.
Hey.
a guy that in
just
knees
a
off
big
or whatever.
risk. That's
he
a
was
big
in the
risk.
AHL now.
I might look at him in the summertime. I just don't think he's right now.
I'm
fine.
coming around more on
I don't
to
think
the,
he doesn't solve the issues that we need solved right now.
I think where you're coming from, Rick, and this is just, I'm only saying this because this is where I was at 2 days ago, is that it's
Life comes at you fast.
yeah, hey, it's that if you make this Karlsson transaction, that is your core. Leon, Connor, and Karlsson.
You already have a core right now.
Until you're for another 4 years, and then
Give them to me.
Leon decides in 3 years whether he's going to be here or not.
They're not going
and Connor
anywhere.
decides in 4 years. I'm just saying that's it. Like because the transactions after that, you think they had a tough time making this transaction happen. making a deal after this to bring in somebody at the next deadline, it's going to be that much harder.
But you're still got to address the same issues.
Are you though?
Yeah, we're still lackadaisical defensively in our own end. Erik Karlsson's not going to change that.
Yeah, he'll just skate it right out himself.
But
No problem.
If he
His
gets
hair
the
will be
puck.
flowing out the back of the helmet. We'll all be swooning.
okay,
He
but
makes a
but
His
your problem,
mustache will
the
be
problem that
nicely
you just laid
waxed
out,
and twisted.
the problem you just laid out, Rick, is a team problem, not a player person. Like you can't. There's no one person that's going to come in and fix that.
No, but there's a person who come in and lead towards it and try and bring everybody with them.
But doesn't
Ryan
Karlsson,
O'Reilly, Taves is going to do that.
But doesn't
whereas
Karlsson-
Karlsson's not going to be too worried about the 5-on-5 or the 4-on-5 or the play in his own end because that's not his strength.
But he's gonna keip the puck out of your zone by walking it out or getting it out of the zone more effectively for 23 minutes a
Is he
game.
going to keep the forwards from rushing the blue line again, or the forwards going to actually rush out even faster now because they have a guy like Karlsson to throw
Because
the puck?
they have-
Let me ask you a question.
Is he going to make them keep an eye on their backside?
Let me ask you a question. Are you going to be happy if like all they get is a depth defender and like Sam Lafferty?
I don't know what I'll be happy. I'll have to see the names first, but I mean, I'll be.
Like a bottom six guy and a third pairing D-man.
Yeah, and I don't think a third pairing D man is what you. I think you need about like a Kulak again, like a second pairing guy, and you need someone who can solidify your play in your own end. Like I said, if you could take some of these defensive minutes off Leon, he gets to go back to being super duper forward again. But he's doing a lot of defensive. He has a lot of more defensive responsibilities this year. He's out taking all those damn faceoffs. If the dude's not healthy and the dude's running out of energy, and
He's healthy.
he's still out there having to take defense's own faceoffs. Like I'd much rather have a Leon play in our own end.
Let me ask you another question. Would you extend Derek Ryan to $11 million because he has the same amount of goals as Jonathan Huberdeau?
Absolutely not.
I think with Karlsson, like you can't say Erik Karlsson would make the Oilers substantially better. He would, Rick.
You'd make them better for sure, but I don't think,
Substantially better.
sure. But if you're looking at like the overall rankings of the Edmonton Oilers, like you do on NHL, when you add a Karlsson in, it moves up X. If you were to move in Ryan O'Reilly, I think it moves up more.
You just EA Sports us?
Yep.
I think Erik Karlsson makes you substantially better than Ryan O'Reilly does. Like the guy's going to win the Norris. He's exceptional in transition. You'll have the puck on your stick more with Erik Karlsson on your team. My point this whole time has not to be the fun police or whatever.
You are though.
Erik Karlsson makes them so much better. It is just not realistic. It's not a realistic trade that can happen in the next 2 weeks.
And you're also one injury away from being big trouble when it comes to defense again.
Yeah, sure. I like it. That wouldn't stop me from doing it, and the
I'd like
picks
to
wouldn't stop me from doing it.
add a defenseman without subtracting one. Yes,
Let
that
me
gives
ask you a
your 8 defensemen going into the playoffs. But if you swap one, you still got 7.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
How handsome do you think you'd look in an Erik Karlsson jersey?
Oh, I think I'd look fantastic.
That's all. Again, just things to consider, Liam.
I mean, I already bought mine.
Well,
I
Liam already
I
bought
don't
his.
know. It's such an
he had to change his name to Erik Karlsson just to get them to do it.
But I think like McLeod can learn a lot more from, say, a Ryan O'Reilly.
Sure. I
And some
agree.
of that, and a Holloway can learn from that,
I-
and then takes those responsibilities off Connor and Leon, and they can go back to, well, not Connor per se, but Leon can go back to like worrying all about offense.
I think the interesting thing about the Karlsson conversation is I literally don't disagree with anybody. Like, this is such a difficult trade to pull off, but it would be so awesome to have Erik Karlsson here. He would make us better, but he also wouldn't make us better in areas we necessarily need to be better at. And then just how do you make it work? Like, it's the third party thing doesn't make any sense. Like, why is
If you
someone
put
gonna do
Karlsson
that?
on this team last year, does that help us beat Colorado?
Yes.
I think so. 100%.
Because you-
Do you win a
Instantly,
couple, but do you actually beat them?
I think
No,
that
but you
the-
just
I
said
think
no. You
O'Reilly
asked
does
the
help.
first question you asked was
Yes.
does it make them better or better against Colorado? And the answer is yes.
They would have their counterpart
beat
to
Colorado.
Cal
Then,
McCarr.
yes,
Yes.
they beat them.
So
They
you
beat them.
put in Karlsson, you take out Barry, and you think the Oilers all of a sudden beat Colorado last year.
No,
that
you said would
team-
they be better? They lost 4 games to Colorado.
I said
bet
beat
they-
them. I said beat them.
I
beat
thought you
them.
said better.
I would
I
say
said
they
beat
beat
them.
them a
Okay,
couple
then yes, I
times.
stand
I think
by
they
it.
would beat them a couple times, and that would have made a series out of it. It would have been a different conversation altogether because we wouldn't have been looking at the downward spiral that we were in after games 2, 3, and 4. Right? Like,
See, and I just think that if you have a guy like Ryan O'Reilly in the lineup instead, it makes you a more well-rounded team and better situated to beat Colorado.
Why not
Who
both?
obviously is the team we're looking at because they're the ones who beat us last
We're
year.
making all these other trades. We may as well add Ryan O'Reilly to this Erik Karlsson thing too.
Well, if you do
Patrick Kane,
Karlsson,
too.
if you do
Maybe St.
Karlsson,
Louis
you
could be the third team.
if you
and
do
could just
Karlsson,
get
you almost can't do
O'Reilly.
anything else.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. It's such a crazy conversation. I think the reason last season in the Colorado series, I think Cale Makar was the biggest difference maker. Just everything about him was all positive and offside. But I think Karlsson
Everything
is the
about him was
closest
offside. That's pretty
comparison
good.
to that right now in the NHL. Right? I think that's a fair comment to say. So I think he would have gave the Oilers a better chance to beat Colorado.
And from my perspective, I honestly don't think it's going to happen, but I'm in that mode where I just bought my lottery ticket and I'm fantasizing about the cool shit I'm going to buy when I get my winnings, you know?
I don't know. I'm stuck with Ryan O'Reilly. Helped. I know it's not as fancy. I know he doesn't have the flowing hair.
He's also having a bad year, but he was hurt. So
Yeah, that's the player.
He does increase our beard per 60
yep.
and our bare face per 60.
Yeah, but Karlsson can bring back.
No visor.
Oh,
He can bring back the pirate look though that we had with.
Didn't know where you were going with bare face.
I was thinking like BEAR. I was like,
Yes.
what does that mean?
I thought
To be
right
fair-
after you said beard, you said bare face. So I was like, I don't know where we're going.
Karlsson would bring back the pirate look we had with
yeah.
Lander.
It's true.
Our sexy per 60 rises significantly with Erik Karlsson on the roster.
How are his abs?
We need
have
to
to
replenish the Swedish All Abs team.
do, yes.
I'm just saying. There's another
It's part of the transaction. It's part of the cost.
underlying reason
That's
why
worth at
we
least
should.
another first round pick for you, Tyler, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'd spend them all.
Tyler loves this podcast.
I would only have 3 defensemen on the ice if you get Erik Karlsson. Right, Tyler?
Can you imagine if the Oilers were just like, you know what, fuck the cap. We're running 9 forward. We're running 9 forwards
Going
again.
10-8.
9-5, like a beer league team.
Yeah.
Super
Who needs the rest of them?
It's actually a well-attended beer league game if you're running 9-5. That's good.
Oh, buddy, you got spares there.
Yeah,
The
you're
entire
healthy
team
scratching someone.
Gets in the hyperbaric chamber in the intermissions.
Last time I played beer league, there was 1 sub. You know?
Probably a good time.
Was it
No.
delicious?
It wasn't. I want to hear from you. How many trades are the Oilers going to make? Over 2.5. That's the line Tyler set.
2.
Yep.
Was that the delicious debate?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy smokes.
For
We
27
debated
minutes.
it.
Well, yeah,
What
I was
a
gonna say
debate.
was a
we
good
ran
debate.
for a while there. We went around a few different spots. Had to get the trade talk in there.
Oh, a debate. That's what a debate is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't cut it off.
Back in Rick's day, before all these damn
Exactly.
streaming services, this was entertainment.
Don't start me on the streaming services again.
Back in
You
my
could be
day, we
watching
used to.
Tiger on TSN right now, but now you need some weird ass
yeah.
fucking.
By the
TSN
way,
Go.
what's that golf documentary called on Netflix?
Full swing.
It fucking rules.
Well, how many episodes in are you?
I just finished boys taking their shirts off at the
Waste management.
waste management.
See, I'm only one in. My concern with it, I'm actually curious because you're not like a hardcore golf fan at all. So is it intriguing you as a casual golf fan? Is
Yeah.
it getting you interested in the product?
Yeah.
Is it doing better than the tennis show?
I like it better than the tennis one.
I like it better than the tennis
Fell
one too.
off the tennis one.
Me
I
too.
just watched Tanner Fritz. Not Tanner Fritz. He's the hockey player. Taylor Fritz win that one.
Because,
And I
like,
just fell off.
The episode I just watched last night of what again? Full
The
swing.
Waste Management Open, full swing, yeah.
But they also had like DJ was in it talking about going to live golf, and they did that whole thing, and just
It's
his
a
answers were
great
fun.
year to get involved in. It's a great year for
Yeah.
Netflix to get involved in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really hoping it won't have like an F1 type impact on like the sport, but I'm hoping it has a good impact on the sport. and
I'll tell
brings
you
it
one
more to the
thing.
Because it's not
mainstream.
as low.
Yeah.
They
Golf's
dive
higher than
into
F1
the
here.
Waste Management Open a couple of different times in this thing, and I was just like, man, I got to go to this thing. I got to sit in that group on the 16th hole throwing beers at the players.
You know how you have to get there, right?
No, tell
You
me.
have to line up at 5 a.m. They release the gates at
I'm
6
not
a.m.
going to bed.
And you you sprint to your spot. When you
I'm
get to your
pretty
spot,
fast.
you stay there.
I'm pretty fast.
But if you get there at like 6:05, let's say you're that fast, I don't know how far it is, 6:05,
6:03.
because you're super duper fast.
Yep.
You got that Karlsson speed. Mm-hmm. What time do you think the first foursome is going to get to you?
That doesn't matter.
5-6 hours later?
I'll be
That's what
napping.
makes it so good because
Oh.
you are well lubricated
and you
by
can't.
that point.
Yeah, but you got to go pee?
Nope.
You got to have a buddy.
I wonder if they've considered a shotgun start. That way, there's always somebody on every hole.
I don't know that I've ever seen a thing in golf before where people are throwing beers at the
it's
fucking
great.
players.
It's great.
Straight up throwing them.
I think you're trying to shower them, and then sometimes the can falls out of your hand.
It happens to the
It's
best of us.
outrageous. I need to be there. Anyway. Know where you need to be, Rick?
Where?
It's the day after your birthday.
Oh, I know where to
The
be.
Oilers Nation 15th birthday bash at the Pint downtown. Tickets went on sale yesterday. We actually probably sold almost a quarter of the tickets just yesterday. People are excited. These are moving. So if you want to come to this event, again, it's March 18th. Doors open at noon at the Pint downtown. There's a game on at 2 p.m. Head on over to nationgear.ca, get the details for the party. Grab your tickets. It's going to sell out. We're going to have swag bags. We're going to have an exclusive tee. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to be raising some money for free play for kids. It's going to be a great time.
We'll have hangovers.
It is the day after St. Patrick's Day. Hair of the dog.
Best way to handle it.
No better way than having a amaretto and Hennessy. Kick off your day.
I want you to try and start the day after St. Patrick's Day with that drink. Also on the 16th,
Yeah.
I highly suggest you buy a pizza. Fire that in the fridge for the 18th and the 19th mornings.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
And I'm at a point in my life now where I've got 3 rules. 1, always frozen pizzas in my freezer. Always. 2, always fries in my freezer. 3, always nugs in the freezer.
And
I have a 4th rule.
Hit me.
so do I.
Never give up.
Mine was always frozen veggies in the freezer.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
I can't have any
I was
food
like, what do you need
rules.
frozen
I'm pretty
veggies
Yeah,
for?
don't you
Hangover
have like a
day.
weird frozy veggie thing
I
that you do?
just like eating frozen veggies.
Yeah, they're
You
just
still on that train?
Well, I was going to say, hold on a second. Are you like
From frozen.
firing them back frozen?
Cook them.
Yeah.
It's a good
A
drunk
handful of
snack. We've
frozen
done this
peas is
before.
eating them like popcorn?
Yep.
Delish.
just gets the stir fry mix all frozen together.
Frozen green beans.
I like those ones with the little tiny cut carrots, just handfuls of those.
Oh, I dig it.
Nationgear.ca. Get tickets to the 15th anniversary. Be there. We've got some shenanigans planned for you. And I want you to be there. Liam wants you to be there, most importantly.
It's true.
Liam's asleep.
A lot of enthusiasm in that. Yeah.
Liam's in his food coma.
Get into a little bit of Oilers news. Kailer Yamamoto activated off the LTIR officially today. Dylan Holloway, Vinny Desharnais loaned to the Bakersfield Condors. First thoughts when you saw these with the transactions today. Tyler, you're on check.
Disappointed because it means we aren't going to get a trade anytime soon, and I want to trade. I like talking about trades. I think in the long run, this could actually be a good thing for Holloway, though, right? Go down there, play
I
20
agree.
minutes a game, handle the puck a ton, play on the power
He's going
play,
to be back up in 2 weeks anyway.
come back up after the deadline, and be a more confident version of yourself, young Holloway.
I was writing the newser on OilersNation.com just for what happened, and Liam sent me a very funny message. He's just like, Oilers Nation every day. The post's ready to get scheduled in. I'm like, okay, I'm just finishing up this newser on this on these roster moves, and he goes, it's exactly what we've been waiting for. Liam, what were your thoughts?
I saw it and I thought, right on. Like, I just don't like.
Nobody could have been surprised today. You had to realize by the time yesterday
It happened yesterday.
We knew that was pretty much going to happen.
And it was just absolute chaos. Anyone would have thought the sky was falling with what went down today.
And anytime anything we do, the sky is falling to
Honestly,
some people.
I just 2 things. One, didn't everybody just expect Vinny Desharnais to be here for the entire season when we all wanted another defenseman?
Yeah, you
to
bring
join
another
this
defenseman.
team?
Vinny's got to go down anyways because you're not going to keep him up here as your 8.
So that happened. And
I heard Vinny
You're on
wants to
record
teach-
with him in the lineup, though, you guys?
I know.
Especially with him out.
My counterpoint, I said this one in the room. Jack Campbell was the only reason the Oilers were winning games at the start of the year then. Wasn't his record like 8-2 or something? But
Yeah.
something weird like that.
Exact same reason we didn't get rid of Jack Campbell. We can't get rid of Vinny
Just making the
Desharnais.
right save back
Man,
then.
like, how is this not a good thing overall? I just don't get it.
They're just resting up Vinny Desharnais to teach Erik
because there's
Karlsson how to play
nothing the
defense.
Oilers can do that's the right move. Everything the Oilers do is the wrong move, according to some people.
They're just protecting Puljujarvi. Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Again, Jim Matheson had a banger of all bangers yesterday when he said that cats have 9 lives and so too does the Bison King or something like that. As he is, we all thought he was going to be tweeted. So the tweet is, cats have 9 lives and it looks like Bisons do too because Puljujarvi hasn't been put on waivers or traded to make Cap more work to get Yamamoto and his $3.1 million off the LTIR. I was surprised. I've been waiting for a trade. I just want some chaos. This was no chaos. This
I
made
want
sense.
the right trade. I think too many people are just hoping for a trade. Like me. I want the right trade.
Me too.
I want the right trade too, but any
Give me
trade would be
anything.
fun. You know?
So like you guys, your job is to figure this stuff out and like
Not my
report
job.
on it and stuff. But
That's Tyler's job.
like I feel like some people just need to like read the news and then log off and check in tomorrow and see
Call
how
me
it
Huey
goes.
Lewis, then Dan. I am the news.
People were just refreshing
Even I
I saw
can't do
people
that.
refreshing the feed all last night, hoping something was going to happen. And it's just like, I don't know, like the news breaks and then you can figure it out. You don't have
Sometimes I wish the NHL transactions were like the stock exchange.
Yeah.
And it's just like after 3 o'clock, nothing
That's
can
it.
happen until tomorrow morning
Exactly.
again.
Untrue. You can get in the post-hour trading.
I was going to say,
Let's
I think
go.
I'm not lucking.
Sorry, Tyler, you go ahead.
I just think some people need to realize that not everything's the end of the world. Like, hey, Vinny Desharnais went down. Like you said, if you want a new defenseman at the deadline, Vinny's going down anyways. He's not playing in the playoffs, folks. And like, I don't know. Him
might.
going down for a week
Just
isn't the
broke
worst
some
thing
hearts,
ever.
Tyler.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, it's as if they can't ever come back and play for the Oilers again.
No, that's
They
not
may
true.
not.
Holloway and Vinny Desharnais to some people.
He's a Calgary
have
Flame
just
now.
Gone away.
Don't you ever say
Yep.
that.
Like, it's absolutely insane.
Or
Like,
there's people
Specifically
who
not
I
Vinny.
lost one friend to that team. I
That's
don't want to
fair.
lose another.
there's
Was
some
it Jay?
people-
No, I remember a couple years ago, I was sitting there talking with a certain guy who's playing in Sweden as of now, and I said, "Hey, please, just don't sign with Calgary." He's like, "I would never." And
bless
then,
him.
like 3 weeks later, he signed with Calgary.
son of a gun.
Personal.
Go on, Tyler. Tell us what you were saying.
I was going to say, some people just, every move the Oilers make is like the wrong move. And then when the Oilers make the right move, they just love to hop on Twitter and be like, yeah, but remember the wrong moves?
Yes.
Yeah, like Anthony Seo.
Yeah.
Come on.
With no
One
context.
thing I said on the live show today when you asked me, Tyler, you're like, is this team worse? I said, for the forward group, no, because Yamamoto is better than Holloway. I feel like that's a very obvious statement, right? And I said the blue line probably gets a little bit weaker, I suppose, with the way Desharnais is playing, especially on the penalty kill. But also, this is a group of 6 NHL defensemen. You know, like it shouldn't be as big of a deal as it's being made out to be. They will be back with the Edmonton Oilers again this season.
What's
And
your bet? When?
The Oilers should still win
don't
games
know.
with them out. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know when they'll be back because you need someone to get hurt essentially.
Beat
for
the
them to be
Rangers
back.
without. Well, I guess Holloway was in the lineup
Holloway
last
scored
time.
the game time goal.
I'm guessing Holloway's back. Deadline's 2 Fridays from now. He'll be back that weekend.
Holloway will be back around
Basically,
the
like a
deadline.
deadline acquisition.
Holloway
That's
will be
all
back
they'll
around the
sell.
deadline, and Vinny will be back for the playoffs.
Leave the mic arm alone, Tyler.
He's not breaking it.
Vinny will be
I'm not complaining about it.
Vinny will be in the taxi squad, I think, for the playoffs.
Black Aces.
Black
Or
Aces.
Black
yeah.
Aces, yes.
That means he can boogie as soon as the games are over.
Yes.
Big man moving.
Yeah, in 2017, they didn't wait for that one.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't be back.
Ever.
Holloway would. Well, although when you start to think about like the value of money and the contracts and stuff, we don't want to get into a situation where at the end of the season you're playing 17 players.
Yeah, I think, though, like, there's a decent chance both Fogel and Puljujarvi are moved off the roster.
Oh yeah.
So I think
In the next 2
there'll be a
weeks?
spot. Yeah.
Well, that's on your 2.5.
One of them
Trades.
will go in. Yeah.
You said over though.
I said over. I think there's a decent chance both of them could be gone, and that's an easy recall for Dylan Holloway.
I don't think it's the Desharnais. It's nothing he's done. Obviously, this is just a cap issue that we all knew was going to happen at the start of the season, and the reason it's happened is because Kostin and Janmark both came in and made it known that they need to be on the NHL roster, and now you have to sacrifice a guy who has played 12 games in the NHL. Like it is what it is. Whatever.
Frank Zarvali tweeted, and it makes sense, right? Finagling the cap/roster this way buys them some more time to make a trade if they want to. Edmonton wants Holloway playing more minutes for the time being. Holland is managing what he knew was going to be a challenging cap situation since training camp.
Find me the person that saw the Vinny Desharnais call up in early January and said he will be here with this team from now on.
I said at the beginning of the year that you'll probably see him around Christmas time.
But when we call him up, it wasn't like that wasn't a permanent
No, he
solution.
wasn't going to be in the top 6.
So it's just, I know he played well, but he's not blowing the doors off of the league or anything.
I will miss his shots from the office though.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, this is those sneaky wristers, man. Get him through.
the pinball.
It's like Ovechkin.
Yep.
Somebody asked
Same
that the
spot
other day.
over and over.
Be better.
They said that you got Gretzky behind the net is his office. Ovechkin above the hash marks is his office. Is there anybody else in the league that
Leon's
you could
got
ever-
one down low.
Now.
Would you say Leon is?
Yeah,
in the
Leon
okay.
down low. That's
For
Leon's
sure,
office.
that's the thing.
Yeah, his off wing down low.
Any others over the history of hockey that you could think of where it's like an office for somebody?
Al McInnes from Bombs
And
from
Vinny
the Point.
Desharnais.
Stamkos is kind of in that OV area too. Like,
Yeah,
I think
pretty much
that's
the exact
I
same
think
spot.
Stammer's a lot more.
It's lower though.
To me,
towards the goal
to
line.
me,
He's
Stammer's
reverse
got a lot
Draisaitl.
more
Yeah.
all over goals, whereas
Horkoff
Ovechkin
right
really-
beside the post on the power play. Come
He's
on.
already in front of the net.
Hey, we sleeping on Alex Chason's office?
Down on one knee?
Down on one knee with his hands at the bottom of his stick, still missing them.
He was the answer.
That was a realistic question, but
Mark Letestu.
yes.
Oh, that was a good year. Him ripping home pucks in that spot.
Yeah.
Paralyzer from Matt Hendricks.
See, that's why we can't win fucking shootouts right now.
Well, let's talk.
Pavelski kind of has his he's known for tipping shots, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's annoying.
Let's. We can't win an OT right now. Let's talk about the Red Wings game. First, I want to give a shout out to Cattail Crossing Blades of Steel Pond Hockey Tournament. That is going on this weekend. Did you listen to me last week when I said, hey, or I guess that was on Tuesday. I said, hey, this is your last day to enter. So if you're listening to this, go, well, Bag Milk, I didn't have a chance to enter my team. I wish you would have let me know. Well,
We did.
your own fault.
Where does this voice come from? Because you said that little voice the other day on your show. I heard it when I was cutting clips.
Same,
like it?
same caller.
Yeah, it's just the same person.
I love it. I think it was
That's just my
very
generic one.
unexpected.
Yeah, I just got my generic little, this is a random person voice.
You don't have a voice for people that are like criticizing you and they're like getting
No, I
all up in your
I
face?
just talk louder and move my arms.
I like
It sounds
to,
fair.
well, like you know me, I like to make sound effects and make weird noises and shit. Like, it is what it is.
Are you the guy that says, "Do you want to be a man boy too?" On your show?
No,
for the
I stole that
Righteous
from
Sack Boy?
I stole that from Beavis and Butthead. It's a very classic show.
Great show.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like the sound effects I put on the podcast?
The Blades of Steel 3-on-3 Pond Hockey Tournament is happening out at Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club this weekend. If you didn't enter, it's all good. It's an all ages event. Get down there and enjoy just the festivities. There's a lot going on. You can see some NHL alumni down there. You can see some of the cash prizes being awarded, and you will see the winning team make a donation to the charity of their choice. Head on out to Cattail Crossing. Enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be lovely this weekend, I think. I just made that up.
We could check the weather.
Looks fantastic.
Looks great. I'm looking out the window.
I watched
I don't
Bag
see it
Milk the
changing at all.
entire time he said that, and he just was automatic, and then he
Staring at
realized
one
that he
spot on the
lied.
wall.
Saturday, highs of -2. Sunday, highs of +1.
Perfect.
Gorgeous.
Man, I
Made a
fucking nailed
believer
it.
out of you, Bag Milk.
If you don't hear me next week on this podcast, it is because I've taken over for Josh Clausen.
Just based off of your whim. Whatever you decide at
Just
that
a
moment.
note. Just a note out there. Let's talk about the Detroit game.
No. Let's pause for an ad.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the Detroit game. Frustrating. Oilers deserve to win. Couple of unlucky bounces off Broberg, beat Campbell. There was the Oli Mata goal, just beat him clean, had to stop that one.
Goalie can make a save, yeah.
Frustrating.
Yep.
How would you describe it?
Goalie.
Word
should-
association, impromptu, Tyler.
Goalie make a save.
Okay. Dan,
Lackadaisical effort.
Rick,
Unlucky.
Liam.
I like the unlucky one too.
Like I get it. The first goal, you got to keep your pad on the ice.
Yep.
You keep your paddle down. I get that. And that third one, I think he left the post too early. That's kind of how that weird deflection kind of was. That the second one? Maybe I don't. Yeah, that was the second one.
Second one, yeah.
Third one, I think, was going wide of the net maybe before it hit Broberg.
Still.
Yeah.
And then I think that fourth one, if you had a guy like Ryan O'Reilly taking the face off, that's not even an issue.
In the first period
clean loss by
alone,
Leon.
there was 3 pucks that slid underneath Jack. Like one went in the net, and then 2 went across the crease. But underneath him, when he was
His
set
pad
up,
was lifting early.
it was weird.
We had some opportunities to score too where we didn't.
100%. The Oilers hit a
Off
couple
the
of posts
post.
early.
4 goals should be enough to win every hockey game.
Yep.
Most.
So, what do you take away from that game? Or do you just flush it?
They got to start better. I will
Yes,
say that
100%.
They're starting to get back into this trend where they don't start games on time again, and it's like, come on, you were good at it in January. There's no way you just forgot how. Like, start on time.
So good once they score that fucking first goal.
Yeah,
I
when
know.
they get that first goal, they just start buzzing. Like, even against Ottawa on the Saturday, first goal came early, first couple of minutes, they were buzzing.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. Like if they don't score that first goal, it almost like slows them down. They get that first one, and even if they're down 3-0, they get that first one, and it's like they're playing on their toes now.
So, looking ahead at tonight's game against the Rangers. Rangers come in winners of 6 in a row. They are 1-1, I believe, in the last 10. I'm doing that off the top of my head. But this is going to be a challenge. They've got a first line that is absolutely ripping them in the net right now. Although they split that lineup.
Yeah, they did. But still, Panarin's got 12 points in his last 5. DJ Zbad has 7 goals in his
Zbad.
last 5. They're very good. They're very deep. They have a good, fast, mobile blue line. They have a great goalie.
You should start
They're
starting
very
to
good.
round it out.
We have a great record against them in the last couple of years. The team should feel confident. And just because this team's so much better than the teams they've faced in the last little while, I anticipate you see a different version of
I'm
them.
going to give you one key to victory tonight, Liam. And it can't be the one you said on O&E.
Oh,
What do you
come
got?
on. My one key to victory tonight. Maybe I'll just twist what I said a little bit. I think you need better goaltending.
Yep.
I think that's fair to say. I believe in Jack Campbell way more than I have all season, and
Who's
I
starting
believe he
tonight,
can turn
Stu?
it around.
No, we don't know.
I would have just assumed Campbell.
Check daily face-off. Maybe
It
they
should
know.
be Skinner. I think you go back to Stu tonight, but that's
Flip
just my
flop
take.
is what they call
I'm
that.
good. I'm good with either.
Yeah, I'm not going to, yeah. I did this a couple of years ago when we'd say one goalie should start and the other goalie started and they had a good game. I got off the train of trying to pick goalies back then.
Tyler, one unique key to victory that you did not say on your own show, Oilers Nation every day.
Oh, well, I give my good key to victory then.
Well, give a shitty
Your
one
second
then.
best one.
What's my key to victory? Key to victory. Get into the fight early.
Yeah.
And like initiate it.
Yeah,
Feels like
don't-
there's a lot of
yeah.
games where the Oilers kind of got to get dragged into it. The other team's got to get under their skin, and the Oilers are like, oh, God, now we're going to fight back. Just like start like that. Start pissed off and angry like you want to beat the hell out of the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretend like you went to a DJ Z-Bad show and didn't have the good value or good time you were expecting.
Yeah.
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 Dan, key to victory.
I'm going to say the complete opposite of Tyler because I'm scared of the Jacob Trouba effect.
Why we have Clem Costin?
Yes, but Clem
you can't
Costin,
retain.
and you'll notice most of Jacob Trouba's fights this year always follow one of the other team's players getting killed. So I'm not a big fan of that. I would like them to just kind of outskill the New York Rangers tonight. Go ahead and skate around them, score more goals than the New York Rangers, and do not engage with them after the play.
Secondary point on Dan's point. Keep your head up.
Yeah.
Trouba will kill you if he has the chance. Rick, key to victory.
Defense's own structure.
Yes.
They're very
Evergreen.
offensive. They can score from anywhere. It's almost like playing ourselves in some ways. Keep their offensive opportunities limited. Keep them to the outside. Make life easier for your goaltender. Make life easier for your own damn team.
Puck support is going to be my key to victory. That goes from in the offensive zone, that goes on the breakout. That just make sure that you've got somebody there with you and you're not trying to force it across the ice. I hate that.
The buddy system.
Buddy system. You need an accountability buddy. Find one. Make sure you know where he is.
Rely on them
Rely on him.
and be there for yours.
Friendship. Safety first, then friendship.
Yep.
Right? Accountability buddies. Score prediction, Dan?
I'm going to say 5-4 Rangers.
Rick?
5-3 Edmonton empty netter.
4-2
Yes.
win for the Oilers. Liam?
I'm gonna go off my usual pick. I'm gonna say 6-4 Oilers.
Empty
play
net?
empty net. Different score.
When was the last time you hit that, by the way?
Detroit. Didn't they hit a empty net against the Red Wings the other day?
There you go. Tyler?
And the Ottawa.
4-3
Oilers in overtime.
You have less than a month if you want to come with us to Toronto.
There's only 2 spots left.
There's 2 spots left. I was going to say 4. Half the spots.
You would have been incorrect.
I would have been incorrect.
Wrong.
I was right about the weather. Wrong about the trip.
The weather
And-
is turned around. It was supposed to snow today.
It's not
blue
snow.
sky.
Not a
Guys.
cloud in the sky.
Breaking. No
I don't
snow.
know. I asked
Looks
Bag
pretty
Milk.
good from here.
He said no.
Yep.
Must be nice.
Dan?
Also, if you're in Toronto or in Toronto's area and you would like to come and join us at the game, send me an email, dan@oilersnation.com. We have a couple of tickets available to
mean
join
the
us in the
GTA?
suite. Yes, in the GTA area. Perhaps even Hamilton. I'll allow Hamilton.
I think the A stands for area.
No.
Greater Toronto area.
It's Grand Theft Auto area. I'm pretty sure.
And where are those tickets located, Daniel?
They're in what's called the Gondola Suite, which is
That sounds fun.
a larger suite, which is going to have food and non-alcoholic drink included.
You could have yourself a little Pepsi, Tyler.
And I don't think Bieber's going to be there.
You might be, though.
Don't know though.
Can't confirm that.
Drake might
Drake?
be. But I can't confirm.
What about
Or deny.
the weekend?
The weekend might also be there.
Tavares will be there. I
Yep.
heard.
Allegedly.
Maybe they might trade him.
Steven Stamkos might
Have
come
Will
any-
home.
Karlsson be there?
Has anyone used the ON account to invite some of these guys?
Yep.
Hey,
tried.
Beebs, just so you know, we're rolling in.
We've been texting.
Drake.
We got suspended once.
Tyler, My encouragement to you is the free soft drinks. Maybe even out the sugar-free Cokes, you know?
Do one sugar full Coke for every one sugar-free Coke.
No, I'm just talking even out the cost. How many do you have to like drink for free to make sure that you're
Getting my money's worth for sitting in the suite?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have a lot of Sprites. Ooh. Maybe it's a Sprite kind of night.
Maybe. Nationgear.ca if you want one of the last 2 spots to come with us. And I saw our boy Bearded Brad slid into my DM saying he's coming with too. So we're going to have a good time down in Toronto. Again,
Fairmont Royal York. Bagnook and I are going to be walking around the hotel in our robes.
I like to do that. Look good, feel good, right? Nationgear.ca if you want to join us. Boys, it is time to ask the idiots a few questions.
Yes. That's us.
We are the idiots, Dan. We are the idiots. Since I'm looking at you, you're up first.
I'm the first idiot.
What job do you think you could do for an NHL team realistically? Could you be a trainer? Could you be a scout? Something that where you feel like you could actually contribute to an NHL team.
I think I would be a good sports psychologist for a team. I'm not actually
Unlicensed,
qualified at
of
all.
course.
Yes, unlicensed, absolutely. But
You'd be the doctor of feeling good for a team.
Yes. Yes.
Moral.
Yes.
Yeah, moral support.
Ted Lasso of
Head of
locker room.
morale.
Mm-hmm. Rick, you got a job at the Edmonton Oilers. What do you think you could shine in?
I think I could be a good equipment guy.
Oh yeah,
That's a big
You'd
job.
be a really good, high fives and getting the boys fired
I'll
up.
be the Devon Shore in the hallway, no problem.
I think-
But I don't know as a paid position.
Rick would be the best player relation person. The person that when they come to the team, he's like the first person that reaches out to you to make sure that
That's essentially
he
what he
knows.
is.
The
now.
family
Yeah.
liaison.
Yeah, he's basically that now.
Just might as well get paid to do it, you know?
His payment is putting his face on the side of the building.
You know, when we were clamoring for Yessa to get an English tutor, Rick would be right
There
on
was.
top of that, you know?
Yeah,
Boom.
That's
Tyler, you get a job with the Oilers. Where do you shine?
Just the guy who stands on the bench and is like seeing who's on the ice in
you the
case
stick guy?
the stick guy, whoever breaks their
Oh,
stick.
I love that guy.
Like I'm playing the piano.
I don't know. Okay, so my only question about that is I don't know if you could honestly just focus on that and not the puck in the game.
It is.
But you are just watching the puck more or
No,
less.
you're watching like your guys. Like I'm pretty sure you're not watching game flow here. Who's got the that guy? This
I
guy, you
love
got your
those.
stick. Oh,
Those videos where they got the 2 hands behind them and they're watching.
what happened in the old days where you just dropped a stick and you just came by and grabbed a rando?
Yeah, you just sometimes you're a
Where
lefty.
You got
Teammates knew the hand.
Chara's
to
got Fleury's stick all of a sudden. He's playing on his knees or vice versa.
I asked the Crusaders trainer about that because he stands there with literally. So he'll stand, but the sticks are behind him, so he can't see them. So he just puts them in an order, and he knows how to where they are. So he doesn't track the actual game.
Stevie
himself.
Wonder on the piano.
He essentially. He just reads the situation. So if he knows that guys on top for a one timer, he'll find that stick and get ready for it to come. He won't watch.
He's
his hands aren't
situational.
on the stick.
You should
for
also
60
ask him if
minutes.
there's
He's a
one
situational
company
guy.
stick that tends to break more than the rest.
Yeah.
There
Is there a
is.
CCM out there
But
that's
he can't
snapping a lot
say
more
on
than
the
the rest?
podcast.
Or
I think it's a CCM.
The synergy?
Is a CCM 75 or something like that? Does that sound right? I don't know. Depends on the player. Depends if the player's actually good with the stick or not. If you're used to it and you know your flags, then you're probably not going to snap as many sticks, right? But if
well,
you're
some maybe break down
getting
from the
used to
inside
it-
faster.
Sure, it'll happen, but yeah, that's what he does anyway. He doesn't watch the actual game, the entire time. He based off situations.
Liam, I'm going to ask you the same question. You get a job with the Oilers. You cannot pick your scouting gig that you
Damn
do with
it.
the
That was
Sherwood Park
gonna
Crusaders.
be-
That is off the table. You have to choose another one.
I did not have a backup GM.
Oh, he's going
Wow,
right
okay.
to the top here. I
Right
love
to
it.
the top of the okay.
I love it.
All
We
right.
would have
That's
Karlsson by now if I was in charge.
I'm
Get the
pretty
man the job.
Pretty good at making sure the water bottles are cold here, but you're going right to GM. I like it.
Yep, may as well. I mean, aim high, folks.
You
Kids,
could
if
be
you're
making-
listening
you
at
could
home,
make
Well,
never give up.
Chris Butty's down there for intermission, and nope.
I could be chef. I could be team chef.
Well, you inspired me to take Bob Nicholson's job, whatever that is, because I'll come up with a half-price burger that everybody wants.
Oh, I could give you just a cheeseburger.
From?
The Red Deer Service Center. I actually had a great burger last night at the Southside Soccer Center. So it won't go on the official chart, but I'll tell you right now, if you're ever at those centers for ball hockey, indoor soccer, whatever it is, grab a burger because they don't put them in the heater. They are freshly cooked on the grill. $5.
Wow.
Let's gotta start naming these
For
things
the
after
works. for the works.
Half the arena's in town in like 3 years. I'll be like, I'll get the Liam with cheese, please.
I wouldn't even have to say with cheese. They would just know that would be the burger. It would just be a cheeseburger.
Fair.
And when Bag Milk takes over Bob Nicholson's job, you get the bagged buddy on the menu. Only $85. Fries are extra.
There's a gentleman online. He keeps sending me his Chris Butties, and I can't remember his name, but he sends
Oscar
me,
Brownsword?
Is that him?
It might be.
I can't remember.
Donkey Volley.
But he keeps sending me different ones. Like, it's never the same one.
I'm pretty
so
sure it's
funny.
Donkey Volley from the old Twitch streams.
It's the best.
Donkey Volley is a madman. If you haven't listened to Better Late Than Never, I encourage you to. Just skip to the voicemail for the nonsense that Donkey Volley leaves in there. Holy cow. Realistically, I think I could be the in-room, like, you know the guy who stands there and he's dancing? He catches the gloves?
Or the glove?
Equipment guy,
The
yeah.
glove guy. I want to be that guy. I got moves. You know, bobbing around and down. He's always ready.
You're
Never seen him not ready.
Your catching abilities on par.
Always.
Make sure that hand-eye coordination's there.
These are steady eddies over
I
here.
feel like some of those guys like to have fun with them and throw them a curveball every now and then.
Hey, I'm ready.
I can't remember whose I watched, but some of them were like
St. Louis
whipping.
Blues.
Yeah,
It was the Blues.
some dude just started firing them at him.
I'm ready. Question number 2. Liam, you're first.
Here we go.
Oilers' record after 55 games last year was 30-21-4. This year, it is 30-19-6. They went through a lot mentally last year, but still ended up with 104 points. They would have to go 19-8 in the final 27 to reach that this year. Maybe I'm looking too much at the numbers, but the question is, do you think the Oilers are better or slightly worse than last season? Or the same?
I think slightly better this year. I think they've just gone through so many waves this year. But right now, I think this team is probably better at this point in the season than they were last year.
Tyler?
I don't think you can answer that till after the deadline because, you know, they had their late season push, but that was with Brett Kulak. And I just think you got to wait and see what the roster looks like to really give a good answer on that. But I think there is a realistic chance they are much better when you look at like Ryan McLeod appears to be taking a bit of a step forward here. Full season of Evander Kane, Hyman and Nuge having career years. They probably are better, but I want to wait till the deadline.
Gotta take a stance.
Rick?
They're better. Simple.
Dan?
They're literally better because Evander Kane has been here for the whole year. And
I can't believe no one mentioned the goaltending.
But the goaltending the goaltending definitely comes in and fixes it, but also is an issue as to why we haven't been statistically or record-wise as good.
I see, and I think where you're going with that is a lot of defensive zone breakdowns that are not really helping the goaltenders out at all.
Yeah, but I also think that there's an element of Jack Campbell's November to December that just
8-2. You
played
didn't like 8-2?
Nope. Before that, I did. But yes, I just like the team is better because of the acquisitions that Holland made at the deadline last year. Those continue to still be on our team because he re-signed Kulak.
Said a good thing about Ken Holland. I like it.
Hey, I'm not a Ken
it's just
Holland
not a
hater.
very it's not very popular in this city.
I think they're better this year
there
than
too.
last year. I think that if Evander Kane hadn't missed 30 games or whatever, chances are he would have been enough. He would have been scoring enough to get an extra couple of wins, regardless of what the
Give us
goaltending did.
12 goals or something.
Yeah, something like that, you know,
Probably
like-
3 wins, 4 wins.
That makes a difference. So I'm going to say they are better. Unfortunate news that he missed as much time as he did. Sucks.
Saving his energy for the playoffs.
Question number 3. I'm coming to Tyler first. What makes you more nervous? The Oilers spending a bunch of assets on a big swing at the deadline or finishing the day with only a few minor tweaks?
Can I hear it again?
What makes you more nervous? Spending a bunch of assets on a big swing at the trade deadline or finishing the day with only a few minor tweaks?
Well, the second one, because at least you go down swinging if you're going to go down this year. I'd rather lose in the second round with O'Reilly and a defenseman and Noel Achari than I would losing in the second round and then sitting here in the middle of May being like, why didn't we go all in? Why didn't we give the Oilers a little more? You at least got to give this group a chance.
Rick?
I'm actually going to go with the opposite. I think this team could actually still progress very far with a couple tweaks that were the right tweaks in the right spots. And if you miss on a big one, then you're in big, big trouble.
Why?
Why? Like what?
Why are you in big, big trouble?
Oh, because if it's like, say, like the Karlsson thing and you have to move out, you know, Bush and Barry, you're one injury away from being like 5 defensemen.
Niemelainen.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Dan? Are you more nervous about the big swing and with the assets, the cost of acquisition on a big swing, or finishing the day with only a few minor tweaks?
I still am more worried about a big acquisition, and it's just like I mentioned before. It's because if you bring in a $10 million player like Erik Karlsson, that is your core, and you have decided that that's your core for the end of the Leon and Connor contracts. And that's just it's not to say that I think it's a bad gamble to make. I just think that that's a tough it's a tough pill to swallow as a fan, and so it makes me more nervous to have that big acquisition and big move, possibly jumble the lineup for a couple of years too.
Mr. Horban.
I think I'd be more they'd be more nervous than if they just kind of sat there and just made a couple of small ones. I think they've got the assets and the market's out there to make a big trade, so go do it. So I'm with Tyler. Go down swinging.
Yeah, I want to see them go down swinging. I just don't remember a time where the Oilers did go down swinging, so I want it. I want some chaos. I want some shenanigans. Is it a good idea? Probably not. But most of my ideas aren't. I'm consistent, Dan.
Fair enough.
Weather, once again, the report.
I see when every time I'm next to you on the craps table, you're very consistent. You're very, 5 here, 10 there, the minimum table. Obviously, you're not throwing down 100 on one big one just because you want to win that big one. You're spreading it out nicely.
I am Mr. Consistency, aren't I? Mm-hmm. Liam, starting with you, last question to ask the idiots this week.
All right.
If you want to submit a question for the boys, just slide on into my DMs. They're open. I'll include you. Connor McDavid very well could hit 100 points tonight for the 6th time. When I ask for your favorite McPoint of the 2022-23 season, what comes to mind?
I'm just going to go to recent bias and just say the McLeod goal.
That was that was ridiculous.
That was nutty.
Yeah, arguably a little bit of a cross check there, but I'll take it.
Whatever.
Yeah, a little pushy on Thomas Chabot. Tyler, he could hit 100 points tonight.
The OT winner against Vegas, that was a really big game, a really big point for them to steal away from Vegas. I'll go with that one.
Rick, is there a point or a goal or an assist that sticks out to you from this season?
I honestly can't even think of one. I think it's going to be tonight when he gets the 100.
Such a blank, and which is crazy to me for this season. But I can't think of other than the ones you guys have listed.
What was the one? Oh,
and I didn't even think of the assist.
It's been just one of those years with McDavid where it's just
I'm focused on the future.
It's almost like
scored that
sensory
beauty
overload.
against Washington. That was sick.
that's what it was. Didn't he score a great one against Nashville too?
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah.
he did.
Sensory
He scored
overload.
he
Stop
ripped that
scoring
one.
so much, Connor, I guess.
Please don't.
No, I don't. It's facetious.
Well, as I was reading this question, I was trying to think. I was like, he's got 100 points, and I can't think of one.
We're not worried about that. We're worried about
McLeod
the team and
assist
the
was
team
pretty
going
unreal.
forward.
Yeah, it was a
But
good
maybe
one.
we should worry about it just in the sense of appreciating what we're watching more. Maybe.
I remember them all.
Okay, well,
Okay,
ahead.
start at 1, Tyler.
So the first
Start at
one,
1. I want 46.
He's looking at the game
Explain
log.
how point 46
First one came at 2 minutes and
Oh,
07
opening night hat trick against Vancouver. How are we forgetting that?
I don't even remember Vancouver being a team in this league.
Yeah.
Scored the next game against Calgary, and then picked up that crazy apple against Buffalo. Had 3 assists against Carolina and a goal. That was wild. Yeah.
I think my answer for this legitimately is not just a specific point, just the fact that when I write the wrap-ups, I bet if I went through the first 55 games or whatever it is, how many times it's just a multi-point night over and over and over again.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So
He's
there's
about to hit 100 points for the 6th time in his career.
In February.
To tie Crosby, who's 10 years older.
and we're in February. There's still plenty of time left to go.
28 multi-point games out of 55 games.
It's ridiculous.
Over 50% of his
And a
games.
lot of those aren't just oh, I got 2 points. Oh no, I got 2 points, Liam. He's got 3 or 4, sometimes 5. It's ridiculous.
But it's funny because there's some of those nights where you just,
13 of those have been 3 or more.
some of those nights where you just look back and go through the box score again. You're like, oh fuck, Connor got 4 points tonight.
He's also had north of 8 shots on net 6 times this year. Crazy.
Well, there you go. There you go. Which point do we like? Could be any of them.
The next one.
All of them.
It's always the next one.
All 100 of them.
I love all of Connor McDavid's points equally, and therefore I cannot pick a favorite. It's what you do.
It's fair.
It's what you do. All right, boys, let's finish off the podcast with a little bit of hot and cold performers. Oh, we got to talk about Betway real quick. I got a bet here that I'm excited about. I almost forgot. Liam, I know you're going to like this one.
Yep.
Because I told you about it an hour ago. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Mika Zibanejad both to register 3 shots at plus 225. Come on. $5 turns into $16.25.
That'll pay the bills.
You could buy 3 of those cheeseburgers you were talking about and have some change left over for a pop.
Did Zibanejad almost have a hat trick in his last game too?
You should.
Nope. Well,
You should
maybe.
just sprinkle the Leon over 2.5 as well in there.
Okay.
Gets you about plus 500.
If I have to.
If I had to
Twisted your
guess.
arm.
All right. If I have to. Tyler, what are you betting on tonight?
McDavid and Hyman both to go north of 4 shots on net, plus 225 on Betway.
Liam, you got anything a little sneaky in there for you?
I did. What did I do again? Oilers win over 6.5 and 2+ points for McDaddy. Plus 150, which is
Wait a minute.
even
Oilers to
Plus
win.
150?
It was like plus 150.
Wait, that's a 3-leg parlay for...
Or maybe I just did Oilers and McDavid.
I don't know what you did.
Yeah, take out the over, and it was just Oilers and McDavid.
Oh, and I also did over 64.5 combined shots. I've just been liking betting on the total shots lately because it just gives you something random to cheer for.
You just got to cheer for shots then. You don't care who's the shot. That's
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is.
Shots from like the blue line, you're like, yes, get
That
through.
counts.
Get
That
through.
counts. That counts.
I love it. Make sure to bet responsibly if you are of a legal betting age, of course. Shout out to our friends at Betway. Good? Good. All right, we start off with our veggies every week as we do with our hot and cold performers of the week. I'm going to pick a button for you, Dan. You are up first. So mind your cold performer of the week. All right, I am ready for you. Nation Dan.
Cold performer of the week is going to go to the Oilers overtime configuration. I think it needs to change, whether that's breaking up McDavid and Draisaitl or not starting with McDavid and Draisaitl. Something needs to give in overtime.
You're as cold as ice.
To Dan's point, the Oilers have lost 6 in a row going to the extras. That includes the shootout as well.
I just think that other teams are going into the prevent defense when McDavid and Draisaitl are on the ice. 2 guys are always back every time, and it's just hard for those guys to try and create when they have 2 guys playing defense right off the bat.
I think
Tyler made a point.
Leon's too tired because he's spending too much time on defensive worries in the first 3 periods.
Tyler made the point of why not splitting them up in the sense of like if Nuge and Connor could have a little bit of chemistry, which they did against Detroit. They played together before. Why not start those 2 and then have Leon as the next one over?
Yeah,
You have that
and you
big
come
gun,
out with
it's
the
so
heat
hard
off
not
of the
to use
bench
it, I
too.
think.
But maybe you could start that way and then just try to rotate it and flip it and try to, sometimes you got to throw a change up. Rick, your cold performer of the week.
And I know you're gonna hate this, Tyler, but it's this time, like the silly season and this the expectations of the trades and everything like that is just super duper annoying right now.
Worse.
Tyler, your cold performer of the week.
For me, the Oilers did a really fun game the other day in between whistles where they had a young fan, I think she was probably about 11 or 12, do a spelling bee. And so the last one she had to spell was Puljujärvi. And the crowd was kind of like, whoa. And she took a second and nailed it. And I tweeted about it and spelt Puljujärvi wrong in the tweet. So
I was wondering where we're going.
it is
I was like,
now,
are we doing cold performers? Like a different
it
button?
is now my most liked tweet ever, and it's like the biggest dumbass moment of my career, or one of them. I get the cold performer.
Boy. Oh boy.
Drop that one where they had me.
So
in
the
first
worst
half.
part is I spelt Puljujärvi twice in the tweet.
The second one was right.
Second one was right. And then I saw people tweeting me being like, she spells better than you. You don't know how to spell. I literally went to the score app on my phone and was like, P-U-L-K. Then I went back to the tweet and looked at my second spelling because I didn't see I spelt it the first time. I was like, I spelt it right. What are people talking about? And I was about to start arguing with people, being like, shut up. You're wrong.
I before game 2 in the second round, I was standing outside of Rogers, and I got a radio guy came up to me and got me to do a contest to spell Jesse's name, and I fucking butchered it. I felt so bad afterwards. It's hard. It's not easy to do on the spot, but then on top of it, she was 10 years old and
Gotta
made us
break it
look
down
bad.
into 3 parts.
Yep. Phonetically. Tyler can't spell. We are at Liam, your cold performer of the week.
My cold performer of the week is...
I like when you get a big sigh before it because you know something.
I
big's
just
coming.
had it in my head and I actually forgot it. Oh, the Oxfordshire Council on Clarkson's farm for not allowing Jeremy Clarkson to open his restaurant And also, not giving him a farm road is ridiculous, and they shouldn't have to deal with that stuff.
I don't even know.
Put some respect on my name.
What happened there?
We don't have
a little
time.
bit of
Just
English-
next. Hot
little bit of English
cold
culture.
performer, BM.
My cold performer of the week is Erik Karlsson because he's not here yet. What the fuck, man? Figure it out.
It's been up and down like a toilet seat, really.
Reversing the order, Liam, pressure is on your hot performer of the week.
Hot performer of the week. Just silly season. It is the best. It is awesome to think that every single player is linked with the Oilers at one point in the year.
We might as well just get them all.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
The only player we haven't been linked to is Clean Costin. And then we got him.
Tyler Yamamoto,
Yes.
as you look back on the last 7 days of your life, what is the greatest highlight, my friend?
Everyone involved in night one of the Ben Stelter tournament. It was a lot of fun. It's going to be rolling all weekend out of the Kinsman. The prizes look awesome in the silent auction and the raffle. And it was just an all-in-all good time. Evander Kane stopped by to drop the ceremonial face-off as well. So everyone who put on this event, it's going to be great.
Pour it on!
Rick, your hot performer of the week.
The Kansas City Chiefs, for the amount of money they put in my pocket.
Same. Yep.
Thank you.
He's a hot guy!
That was, so I bet on the Chiefs when they were down by a touchdown.
In-game live bet.
In-game live bet.
$3.25 or something?
It was something like that because I needed that to dig me out of the hole that I put myself in the Montreal game.
I was one catch and 4 yards away from making it a really good day.
I know, me too.
Watkins, damn it.
Oh, I needed Kelsey.
Yeah, I needed a couple more Kelsey yards as well.
I needed over 1.5, he had 1, or over 11.5 yards, he had 8.
Also, honorary Super Bowl mention to just the Kelsey storylines all week.
that was cool.
They were very fun.
And Rihanna.
And Rihanna.
She was very good.
Nation Dan, your hot performer of the week.
It's gonna go out. Well, I went to the Detroit Red Wings game. First intermission, of course, the Oilers are down. Vibe was a little bit low in the concourse. Ran into listener of the podcast and friend of Kennedy's, Gina A, and she told me that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was going to get a hat trick that night. She was manifesting it. He did score 2 goals, so I'm giving her a partial hot performer of the week
lied to you.
because she called Nugent-Hopkins scoring 3 goals. He only scored 2.
It's getting hot in here.
Congrats on being wrong, Gina.
It's getting hot in here.
Dan's an easy marker.
I try.
Speaking of which, I'm just going to take the easy one, the layup. My boy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 4 goals in his last 5 games. He's got 6 points over that span as well. The year of Nuge continues.
A lot of 5-on-5 too.
Enjoy it.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
Lastly, I just want to give another reminder. NationGear.ca. There's 2 things that I need to tell you about. 1, the Nation Vacation to Toronto. There's 2 spots left. You and a friend. You and a stranger. You and just a random person that you've met on the street. You say, hey, do you want to come to Toronto? They say yes. Done.
New best friends.
New best friends. 2, the Oilers Nation 15th birthday bash coming up at the Pint downtown on March 18th, 2023. I promise you this is going to sell out. Looking at the ticket sales over the last 24 hours, it is going to sell out in a hurry. So get yours quickly. We got a lot going on that day, including some behind the scenes activations where you'll get to interact with some of the staff in a different way, provided that they pass a test.
So true.
That is the tricky part of this equation.
That was all real what Bag Milk just said.
Provided they pass a test.
Skill testing.
Is this an open book test?
Nope.
What?
Not really, but it's also not very difficult.
It's very easy test.
I don't know. Have you seen our staff?
Just takes a couple minutes, that's all.
There you go. Tyler has a hard time spelling Puljujärvi. But can he pass this test? What is the test? What is this mystery? It could be anything. That's how we're going to wrap up episode 958,000. Shout out to our friends at Cattail Crossing, AMA Travel, and Betway. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, everybody.